I've got a plan, and we're sticking to it, except for tonight.
So now what?
I said the plan is to kill the biggest buck ever killed on this show. Oh my gracious. My biggest buck ever.
We love hunting some Kansas, and I'm up to the plate first. South end we go.
It's my turn now.
Of course you see more deer in your first sit than I see in my first 2 sits combined.
It's all part of the plan. It's timing, man. It's all part of the plan.
Hope it's a good one.
Oh, it's one of my best yet. So as you saw on last week's show, I've got a plan, and we're sticking to the plan. It's working. We're just not gonna stick to it tonight. We're gonna actually move to a spot that's only about 150 yards away, but it's to where we can see out into this big wheat field and see if maybe these bucks are getting by us and checking does out in this field before dark, because over the last few days, we hadn't seen the deer we're looking for in this spot. But we're just gonna try it. We're gonna go back to the plan, I promise.
So you're ditching the plan.
I'm not ditching the plan. I'm just deviating a little bit, okay? Just go with it. If y'all are watching this, you could have watched it 6 months ago on Facebook Live.
Now what?
What do you mean now what? We're gonna stick to the plan. We're going back to the blind, like I said, stick to the plan.
You said you want to go try
I said the plan is to kill the biggest buck ever killed on this show. And the plan says we go back to the blind. That's the plan. We're gonna stick to it.
Lead the way.
I am. Since we've been here over the last few days, the temperatures have steadily gone and the wind has gone up. Well, this morning it's blowing pretty good, but we're kind of tucked into some trees right here, so I don't know how it's acting down, on the edge of a field or anything like that. But as of right now, the direction's good, but it still seems, kind of wishy-washy. So we're covering our bases with our scent control and that sort of thing, but maybe we won't have quite so unstable wind. If it's coming down that little corridor right there, we may be able to keep it in our face. So that's the plan for this morning. We just need the deer to like our plan too. he must have seen a doe down there, which is directly downwind of us, but he did not smell us. He just kept on going after that doe. There was a time when that deer, we would have never been sitting here to see that deer because I would have shot the first one that came back. But golly, I mean, they don't make it much prettier than that. That deer is beautiful. We stayed here till noon, went to the truck at the end of the field here, ate a sandwich, stretched our legs, got back in the blind. It's only 1:20. Right here's a deer, look at that. I'm not kidding, here comes this black buck right there. Like I was saying, it might be a midday move. Good signs, good signs. Really not trying to be stingy or greedy or anything, but you know the old saying, you can't kill the deer you want if you shoot a deer that you really don't want.
I can kill the deer I want if you kill that deer.
See?
So I'm a little out of my element here because last I checked, my tag somewhere in the small print says one size fits all. So this tag would have been just fine to fit on any one of those bucks I've let walk by. So I'm a little edgy here and a little out of my comfort zone letting all these bucks walk off, but we know what's here.
We're looking for squiggy, muley, Brutus, possibly a fat bottom deer, and the blind 9. There's 5 other big mature bucks on this place. He's the newest one. He just showed up last week. So if he's roaming around, maybe some of his big buddies are too. We were kind of wondering, you know, every deer we've seen's been 3.5 or younger. Most of them a lot younger. You can get away with stuff, but you never know what a big old mature buck's going to tolerate. He didn't care. He didn't care at all. So that's good. Right here, buck. That's a split buck. That's a beautiful deer. Oh, but that's him. That's Muley. That's him. That's him. Smoked him that time. Dude. We just killed the biggest buck ever killed in this show. What an amazing night. I dreamed of that. Oh my gosh. Oh my Jesus. Oh Lord in heaven, thank you so much for that opportunity. Daggone it, man, I don't know what to say. Man, I had so many things in my mind to say if that moment right there ever happened. And I have no idea what they were. Man. So this is what Mark Jury feels like. This is what his feels
4 times a year.
4 or 5 times a year. Guys like Mark and Lee and Will Primos and all those guys, they give us a lot to look up to, a lot to learn from, man. Been doing this a long time. A long time. And it's easy to get caught up in the waiting on the big deer. And sometimes I admit I'm probably the worst at it here in the last 3 or 4 years. But we knew that joker was here. We put in the work. This is our farm. We've hunted it hard for years. We've driven the miles. We've put in the effort and walked the property, over and over and shed on it. And I think it just paid off, buddy. And my man Tim, first thing he does is lean over and give me a hug. To get to do it is one thing, to get to do it with your freaking brothers, man, that's something. Golly day, I'm coming untrained a little bit, but who wouldn't? Let's go see him, man. So this is my first shot, because he was standing over there. He came through this grass. I knew like back of the lungs, liver. I may have got his lungs, one of his lungs on the first shot. About this Diamondback Ramcat death scratching machine. It'll scratch it right out of it, I can tell you that. I'll be honest with you, obviously it was a second shot, so I was gonna take what I could get. I could see the deer fine, but my arrow had to go through some grass. You see, I got good penetration, so that would be in the lungs for sure. Obviously, first arrow didn't have any problem getting through the back of the ribs like that, but that was my fault. The second shot, I really needed something to drive in there, and it did. We're gonna ease in here, but with instant blood like this, he shouldn't have toted it too far. I mean, he got 2 holes to him, you know what I mean? Or 4 holes to him. Blood right here. Blood, good blood. Oh, Nelly. That's what a ram cat will do. That's a good sign. Look at that, both sides. Oh my good gracious. Good gravy, Bill. Good gravy. Goodness. How about you? Does he look, can you see him good there, buddy? First shot, back of the liver. That's for the second shot. I clipped that shoulder bone. Actually broke the shoulder.
and got in there in them lungs. And the deer, y'all were with us from the arrow to here. What is that, 45 yards, 50 yards, 45? I don't know why I shot so far back on the first shot, because he was point blank range. But I wasn't gonna waste my time thinking about that when I had another shot opportunity, you know what I mean? My biggest buck ever. My biggest buck ever. If you don't know what it's like to be a bow hunter or to be a hunter and be out here and experience something like this, man, you're missing out. You're missing out. I'm not kidding you. I don't mean to preach, but golly, you know, we got a lot of hunters out there on social media these days. They're beating other hunters up because they're not killing, you know, something as big as they think they should have killed, or, you know, you should have shot that young deer. Why are you letting that kid shoot that small caliber? Just support one another, man. Otherwise, we won't have a chance. Nobody will have a chance to hunt deer like this. Nobody will have a chance to hunt at all if we just kill ourselves from the inside out. I am proud to be a hunter, and I thank the good Lord. Thank you, Jesus, so much. In all sincere honesty and sincerity, whatever, thank you for this opportunity and for this deer. Thank you for good friends like Tim and Dusty and the whole team, and our families and wives that support us. Usually when I'm holding a deer's rack this big, it's on somebody else's tailgate. This is just amazing.
Man, that had to be
The best plan ever. I told you it was gonna be, and look, we killed the biggest buck on the show, right according to plan.
True that. And that, you know, while I didn't kill a deer during that 2 weeks, it was definitely one of the best 2 weeks I've ever spent in the woods. I find it hard to believe that I'll be that excited for myself if I ever get to kill a deer like that than I was filming you hunting. I mean, to be there.
It's a team effort, that's why.
And to, you know, to be able to share and be able to film your brother do something like that is amazing.
We all have a common goal, and it's not always just to kill the big deer, but to accomplish a hunt, one hunt at a time. And our goal in this hunt was to kill one of these top 5, and we did it. And that makes it so much fun.
Spent the rest of the season hunting. You know, since Muley was dead, I was looking for a couple, especially Squiggy. All the deer showed back up late season except Squiggy. Never came back, never showed up on trail cameras until, what, March, when Dave was shed hunting, and now we know why he didn't show back up.
Because he was laying in his bed. And unfortunately, he was dead. And we have no idea why, but we found him right. I found him right in the same spot. We jumped him 3 different times throughout the year. In other words, that was his home core area, and it happened to be right where we parked the truck, so it was kind of unavoidable, but he kept coming back, and that's where he lived, and
hopefully he's got a bunch
died.
of kids running around out there now that...
If they do, they got a lot to live up to, 186 inches.
I got that spot on the left side of my mantle, I was, you know what I was telling you about?
Mm-hmm.
Look awesome.
What, a replica?
No.
Sure we can find your replica.
You've already got a giant.
I know, and then I got 2.
Did you shoot this one twice too? Too
Ouch,
soon?
brother.
Keep up with IOTV on social media for all their latest news, tips, and giveaways.
So far, we've got a plan and we're sticking to it. Ready? Too much. So far, we've got a plan that we're sticking to. We're going to go look and set up and...
I'm not even the one that shot the deer, and my nerves are freaking shot waiting to go find this thing.
Well, I am the one that shot him, and I shot him twice.